Good morning, my loves. Happy Friday. It is a beautiful Friday morning here at the lake. It's still dark out. It's about 6 a.m. So something happened a few days ago, and I really had to stop and think if I wanted to share this and how it would be received. And then you know me, what the hell? So I do online shopping, like my groceries and such. And the person that did the shopping picked up the wrong item, so I had to go to the store and exchange it for the right thing. Inconvenient, yes, but not that big a deal in the grand scheme. So I go to the store, I park, and I go in, and I walked, I'm walking kind of down the aisles. I rarely go to the store anymore. I just don't have the need because I do everything online. But I walked past the baby aisle, the infants and stuff. And, I think most people will look and go, oh, we can just keep going. I looked, and there was a woman holding a onesie crying. She was holding it like this and crying. I mean, she was distraught, not sobbing, but she was crying. I stopped and I went over and said, hey, sweetie, you okay? Can I help? And she just looked up and put her arms around me and just cried. I mean, she started sobbing. She had recently lost a child. And I told her, I understand, I've been there. And I explained, 47 years ago, I lost my daughter. I know, I understand the pain that you're feeling. And I am so sorry you're going through this. And she was just crying. At that point, one of the employees from the store walked by and said, is there a problem? And she just kept crying. And I said, she lost a child recently. She lost her baby. And she said, oh no. And so she picked up her little radio thing and she called two other people to this aisle, come to aisle da-da-da-da-da. And just a couple of minutes later, these people show up. So now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us in the aisle. And all she said was, we need prayer. Nobody asked questions. Everybody held hands, put their arms around each other, and started to pray to comfort this woman, asking for her to receive peace. And as we're praying, a manager walks out. Is there a problem? And the one employee that made the initial call said, we need prayer. And the manager said, make room. And sorry, this is so touching to me. And so they squeezed in. We, started over and prayed. I have no idea how many people saw us. If anybody saw us, I have no idea. It was like we were in our own little bubble praying for this woman and her family to find peace. And, when everybody was finished, everybody gave each other hugs. Some, said, don't worry, girl, God's got you. We'll keep praying for you. You're going to be okay. The manager took her, and I don't know, he had his arm around her, and I don't know if he was going to get her a cup of coffee or water or what. I have no idea, but very comforting. To each other, people said Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Now, keep in mind, the people that were here, now there's 6 of us, we didn't know, the employees obviously knew each other's name, but we didn't know their names. We didn't know their political beliefs. It was obvious we were not of the same race. It was obvious we were not of the same culture. Some were wearing a cross, some was wearing a Star of David, one had a burqa. It didn't matter. Different colors of skin, different ethnicities, different beliefs, different cultures, possibly different socioeconomic areas. I don't know. But in that moment, it didn't matter. All that mattered was we're human beings and one of us is hurting. For some, because we weren't all the same gender, that was very obvious. There was male, female, and trans. It didn't matter. All that mattered was we came together to pray. And I have no doubt God heard every prayer and smiled. And so as everybody's walking away, some said, like I said a minute ago, some said Merry Christmas, some said Happy Holidays. I looked over at the person wearing a Star of David, and I said, Happy Hanukkah, and they winked and said thanks. It was a very beautiful moment. I was very blessed to be there. I think God put everybody where he needs them at that point in time. I was there when he needed me to be there for her. The manager, the store employees, everybody that came together were there for a reason. My question to you is, what would you do? What would you have done? Would you have just ignored her, told her to get a grip? Would you have stopped and said, hey, sweetie, are you okay? If you saw people holding hands or had their arms around each other in a circle, would you have stopped and said, can I help? Is everything okay? If somebody said, hey, we need prayer, would you have stopped and joined in the prayers? Or would you have just said, y'all need to get a grip. This is not the time or place. Honey, there's always the time and place for prayer. Whether you say it out loud, say it to yourself, doesn't make a difference. God speaks all languages. He understands all languages. He is everyone and everything. So he gets it. What would you have done? Just curious. What would you have done? I am sure I will never see any of these people again. They don't know who I am. I doubt if they follow my channel. They may see me on social media. If they do, hey, don't know, don't care. What would you have done? I'm just curious. What would you have done?